Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I am making fruit cake, the non-alcoholic version. This cake is rich, is decadent, is dense. You're gonna love it. Let me show you how I do it. So let me show you what I'm gonna be using. I'm using 6 eggs, 3 cups of all-purpose flour, some salt, 3 cups of fruit soaked in cranberry juice, cinnamon, allspice, nutmeg, baking powder, lime juice and the zest, rose water, vanilla, and browning, also called burnt sugar. I made this. This is homemade. Brown sugar. I am using dark brown sugar and a pound of unsalted butter. So let's start working. Whenever I'm making this fruit cake, I try to be very organized because sometimes it can be overwhelming and you might miss one or two things. So I start first with the parchment paper. I try to cut it into shape, turning it upside down and tracing the pan to get a circle for the bottom part. You could use a pencil to trace it if you want. Most of the time it's not perfect, so I have to trim it. I just fold it like this and trim it nicely so that it will look neat. So I'm just gonna spread it out to check. It's really not too perfect, so I'm just gonna trim the other edge that looks pokey. So it's perfect. I'm gonna continue with the sides. So I'm just gonna fold the parchment paper like this and cut it. Then I'm gonna trim it. Sometimes I cut the parchment paper to be taller than the pan. In case it rises, it doesn't rise so much. So I'm gonna cut it into 2 and make some notches at the bottom. These notches, they give it some allowance for it to spread so that it fits nicely at the bottom. If you don't put these notches, they're not gonna stay. You're gonna be struggling. It's not gonna fit nicely. It's not gonna be smooth. So when I put it, it fits nicely. Now that I'm done with the baking pan, I'm gonna start with the ingredients. So I'm gonna grate the nutmeg first. Then I'm gonna zest the lime and then juice it. So this is a teaspoon. I've already washed my lime and besides it's organic. So I'm just gonna zest it. And when I'm done, I'm gonna juice it to get 2 teaspoons of lime juice. You could use lemon. See? They look almost the same, so that's equal to a teaspoon. So I'm gonna juice it. Rolling your lime like this helps it to produce a lot of juice if it doesn't have, but this one has a lot. You do not need a lot of juice. Only need 2 teaspoons of the juice. So this is a little bit above 2 teaspoons, but I can use it. So the dry ingredients. So I'm gonna be adding a teaspoon of cinnamon, a teaspoon of allspice, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, a teaspoon of salt, and a teaspoon of nutmeg. I'm just gonna combine them together and sift. Let me give a shout out to all those that have subscribed. You guys are the best. I love you guys. If you are watching for the first time and you have not subscribed, or you have been watching and you are yet to subscribe, please click the subscribe button, like the video, share it, invite your friends, and don't forget to click the notification bell. So when I'm done, I'm just gonna mix it so that everything is properly combined. It is time to start mixing the wet ingredients. So I'm using a pound of butter. It's equal to 2 cups of butter. So the wrap, I'm not gonna throw it away. I'm gonna use it to grease the pan, like so. So when I'm done, I'm gonna start lining up the parchment paper. See what I was telling you about? See the way it's just sticking to the bottom. There's no resistance. Just fits perfectly. That's why you notch the bottom, and it's sticking nicely. So I'm just gonna add the bottom, the circular part. See, fits like a glove. So I'm gonna set it aside. So this is what they call water bath. You put it in the oven, the bottom part, so that the cake doesn't burn. This cake cooks longer. So this is the mixed fruit. I soaked it in cranberry juice 2 days ago. So I'm just gonna blend it. This is immersion blender. You can use a regular blender. I'm just gonna blend it because if the fruit is too chunky, my kids might not like it. I am going to leave in the description box the fruits I used, but I also have a video of how to soak fruits. I also like to prep the eggs too. So I'm using 6 eggs. They have been at room temperature. I'm just gonna crack and whisk them. So this is how I do it. I just beat it and set it aside. I like to prep all these things before you start mixing because sometimes you might get confused. It's really overwhelming sometimes. So I'm just gonna beat the butter lightly. It's softened at room temperature. You can leave it out overnight. So I'm gonna add 2 cups of brown sugar and mix together. If you want your cake to be dark, you have to use dark ingredients. So I'm just scraping the sides so that it will combine properly. I'm just gonna continue mixing till it is soft and fluffy. Now it is time to add the eggs. So I'm gonna add the lime juice to the eggs and the zest. The reason for this is to eliminate the rawness of the eggs because we are using a lot of eggs. So I'm just gonna whisk it like this before I add to the mixture. So when I'm done whisking, I'm gonna gradually add it to the mixture. You have to do it gradually. That's how it is done. Don't just dump it and say, oh, it's the same thing. That's what the recipe calls for. So I'm gonna continue till I'm done. Then I will add other ingredients. So this is the last batch. So I'm gonna add a teaspoon of vanilla extract, a teaspoon of rose water. I'm just gonna combine. I am going to add another teaspoon of rose water because I really like the taste and smell of it. So it's time to add the burnt sugar, also known as browning. I'm gonna be using 4 tablespoons of browning. At first, I'm gonna be watching to see if it's not dark enough. I'm gonna add more. I am gonna make a video on how I make the burnt sugar, and I'm gonna add it to the description below. See, the color is changing. It is looking darker. See how pretty it looks. So it's time to add the fruits. So I'm adding 3 cups of fruits. I told you I soaked them in cranberry juice. I decided to use the cranberry juice because it is what is going to give you the closest taste to wine, but you could use any juice of your choice. So now I'm going to be using this spatula because you don't want to over mix it. So I'm just going to combine it like this. Go around and in like this. It doesn't look as dark as I would want, so I'm gonna add another tablespoon of browning. You can adjust it. You can use less, you can use more. The choice is yours. So I'm gonna start adding the flour just the way I added the egg. little by little and fold like this. As una dey look me dey do this hard work, make una click the subscribe button, make una like. Na the only way wey be say una take encourage me o. Thank you. Try not to over mix it. I like my cake to be dark, so it doesn't really look dark enough. I'm just gonna add the last tablespoon, so I'm using 6 tablespoons in total. Be careful, this is bitter, so if you use too much in the name of wanting your cake to be brown, it's gonna be bitter. The batter may not look as dark as you would want, but don't worry, when it is done it's gonna be very dark. So it is time to transfer the batter into the baking pan. Already turned on the oven to 300 degrees Fahrenheit. And remember, the water bath is already inside the oven. The purpose of that is to prevent the cake from burning and drying out. So I'm just going to smoothen the top and give it a little tap to remove any air bubble. So this is going to bake for 2 hours or 2 hours plus. See, the water is already hot. So I'll be back to check on it after 1 hour 30 minutes. This is 1 hour 30 minutes later. I'm going to use a skewer to check. You could use a toothpick. If it comes out clean, that means it is ready. It didn't come out clean, so it is not ready. I'm going to put it back in. So I will keep checking for every 30 minutes. But this is 2 hours and 30 minutes later. So I'm going to check with the skewer again. It came out clean. It is done. You won't believe the smell. It smells amazing. And it, oh God. See, it's beautiful. Ready. I'm going to leave it to cool for as long as possible. See how dark it looks. So I'm just going to remove the side to help it cool more. Give this recipe a try, and when you do, send a picture and let us know how it turned out. So it is ready. Today is my daughter's birthday. That's why I made this cake as a surprise. So let's see what we did. See how pretty it looks. Perfecto. This cake tastes better as the day goes by. So thank you for watching. I really appreciate you. Don't forget to subscribe, click the notification bell, like the video if you enjoy what you're seeing. Till I see you next time. Bye.